Proverbs 8. Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness, there is nothing froward or perverse in them. They're all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no...
Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Hakodash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh. In his son's name, who the world internet called Jesus Christ, real name in the Hebrew is Yahushua. Also give praises, honor, and glory unto the Yahweh Hakodash, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes his edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim wa Akwatha. As you brothers and few sincere sisters make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. I also want to give double honors unto my beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and who rule well. And I'm the brother Osman Wath here from the Great Millstone Dallas camp. All right, coming back this morning through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shah. All right, to do another epistle. And Abaratazah, you sincere Akim Akwatha will be edified with this. All right, and as you can see the title, we're going to get back into the book of Psalms 119 verses, and this morning we're going to hit verses 9 through 16, Lord willing. And as it says, thy word have I hid in my heart. That's right, thy word have I hid in my heart, which this comes from the 11th verse, which we'll get into. Once again, this is a very, very, very beautiful song. And as we went into yesterday, this is known as a acrostic poem or an acrostic psalm, which basically, each section of the psalm, starts with, the Hebrew alphabet. Yesterday it started off with Ah, and then today it's starting with the Ba. If you see it in your if you're following along in your Bible, you can see, like yesterday's section 1 through 8, it was Aleph. Today's Bayath, and the next section is Ga. All right, and it says Gamal here, but nonetheless, each section is broken up into 8 verses. So this is what makes it, an acrostic poem or an acrostic song, which goes to show you, man, how once again, the Lord is very very thoughtful and intentional. You see, the way he inspired, I believe it was King David that wrote this song, but nonetheless, it's, very beautiful, and it's a good way, for us to learn these songs. You see, so with that, let's go ahead and get into it. And shalom to you, brothers and sisters tuning in this morning. Yahweh Shema Shabbat. All right, so let's go ahead and get it. So this book of John, Psalms 119 and verse 9, and it says, "Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto, according to thy word." Yeah, this is a famous verse, and it speaks volumes. And this is, our main mission. Okay, as the Lord has called us into this truth, our mission is to get ourselves cleansed, as we've been polluted, and filled with these stains and spots and blemishes, that this world has put upon us, and truly, it's because of our nature, just being in this flesh. Well, in order to be received of Yahweh Shema Shah, okay, we have to be cleansed. All right. So the scripture is asking a question: wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? Now, let me grab this word, young man, real quick. Young man. All right. Let me get this real quick. Psalms 119 and verse 9. Getting that word, young man. Okay, it says Nawar. And it says a boy, lad, servant. It says servant. Okay. And there's a part down here in the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. If you scroll down, it says it is used both of a newborn child. See? Of a newborn child. And that's what, we are, as we're becoming those new creatures. As, you had the, you had that rabbi, come to Yahweh Shah here in the book of John, the 3rd chapter. And he says, wherewithal shall a, man be born again, And Yahweh Shah says he has to be born from above. Let's grab that real quick. John, the 3rd chapter, John 3 and 1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yahweh Shah by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from the Most High. For no man can do these miracles except that thou doest. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest, except the Most High be with him. Yahweh Shah answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born again, okay, a newborn, become a young man, all right, it says he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High, meaning you're going to miss out on his salvation, on his deliverance. See? So as, we're becoming, those newborn, okay, babes, okay, young men, okay, well, how are we going to get cleaned up? Let's grab it. John 15 and verse 3. This is John chapter 15 and verse 3 says, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. That's right, man. You see, we're not getting cleaned up by getting baptized in some, nasty baptismal pool, which, if you want to get baptized, hey, that's your business. But nonetheless, okay, the way you truly become clean in the inner man, because that's what the Lord is looking at. He's not looking at the carnal. He's not looking at these diverse washings of the flesh, the putting of the way of the filth of the flesh and the physical that is. He's looking upon the inner man being cleansed. You see, let's grab this here in the book of Isaiah 1. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 16. He says, wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil, meaning stop doing evil. Okay, put away the old man. So this is how we become washed. Okay, it's by putting away the evil from, our works, from our doings, man. You see, and following the Lord's word, following his instructions. That's how we become clean. All right. I'll get one more. I mean, it's a lot of scriptures that go into this, Ephesians 5:26, we're washed with the washing of the word. All right. And these are things that, scriptures that we should not only know, but actually be applying it every day. It's an everyday, application, just like you take a bath or a shower every day. All right. Well, how much more should we be getting washed in the spirit every day? That's why you cannot miss Elder Apostle Hart. I did a lesson, about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, saying that you cannot miss a day of this. Why? Because this is our washing. This is our, this is how we get, cleansed up. If you miss one day, well, you're going to start stinking in the sight of the Most High, or in his nostrils, that is, man. You see? And he turns away from any abomination. So this is Jeremiah 4:14. And it reads, O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness. And that also proves that Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, because how can a land, wash his heart? You see? So it says, O Jerusalem, wash thine heart, meaning your mind, from wickedness, that thou mayest be saved. You see? So those that's going to be delivered, that's going to get saved, are those that have been washed, you see, through the word. How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee? That's right, because these vain thoughts is what pollutes us. The thoughts of this world, the cares of this world. See, wandering after the beast and his image and his name. You see? That's what has polluted and put a stain, upon the minds of our people, cause them to turn into degenerate plants. See? And that's the spirit. I just said that through the spirit. John the 15th chapter in the 3rd verse, as we just read, he says, now you are clean through the word I have spoken. When you get that Greek word clean there, it's katharos, all right, which goes into, pruning of vines, you see, from useless shoots. You see? So as we get cleansed, it's basically the Lord, it's likened unto him pruning us. You see, cutting away, the excess, cutting away, the dead works. You see, that's not producing any type of fruit in our lives, man. You see? So let's continue to read here in Psalms 119, in verse 9 again. It says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed, meaning paying attention thereto, according to thy word. So it comes with application. All right. Let's get one more on this verse, 1 Peter, and it breaks itself down. All right. The simplicity that's in Yahweh Shah, it's a simple formula, but as it pertains to actually executing it in this flesh, that's where the battle lies. So this is 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 22. He says, the apostle Peter says, seeing you have purified your souls in obeying the truth. See? So it's more than just, knowing the scriptures. It's more than just, hearing them. Okay. It's actually, by obeying it. That's how our souls, that's how we become, purified, washed. It says, seeing you have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the spirit unto unfeigned love, meaning unfeigned means, pretty much is sincere. There's no deceit, so sincere love of the brethren, seeing that you love one another with a pure heart fervently. That's right. Oh, let's read the next verse. Being born again, see, being born again, becoming that young man, that newborn, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of the Most High. See, the word of the Most High is that incorruptible seed that's been planted inside of us to where it's supposed to bring forth fruit. It says, which liveth and abideth forever. So let's go back here to Psalms. Let's go back here to Psalms 119 and verse 9. Let's read that again. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto, according to thy word. Verse 10, with my whole heart have I sought thee. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments. That's right. Let's read that again. It says, with my whole heart have I sought thee. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments. All right. Now I want to, let me, give me 1 second. All right. So yeah, let me get this word salt real quick. Let's see. Strong's H 1875. Darash. All right, Darash. It says to seek. All right, seek with care. Inquire. All right. Okay, here we go. Close to the end of the definition, it says to practice. Okay, to study, follow, seek with application. So this is how you seek the Lord. All right, it's by studying. All right, what do Yahweh say? Matthew the 11th chapter. Let's get it real quick. Matthew 11:28. Yahweh says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And we receive this rest through this truth, through this word. All right, that refreshing. Isaiah the 28th chapter. It says, "For this is the rest wherewith you may cause a weary to rest, precept upon precept." So this is the refreshing for our souls, and this is how we seek Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. It says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me." See, that's how we seek the Lord, by learning of him. All right, studying him. He says, "For I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls." That's right. So let's go back here. Verse 10. Psalms 119. With my whole heart have I sought thee. Yeah, because as it was our mind to go astray. All right, now we should be in the spirit of seeking him even more. Was that Baruch 4:28? It says, for as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. That's right, because when we were in the world, okay, we wasn't, thinking upon the ways of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. You see, we weren't thinking upon, his true names. We weren't meditating properly. Okay, we were having, the world upon our mind. You see, so now as the Lord has given us, access into him through his son Yahweh Shai. Okay, now we have the ability and this grace period, to seek the Lord. Okay, as much as we can. There's no limit to, you seeking the Lord. You can seek him however much you want. You see, James the 4th chapter, what the Lord say. This is James chapter 4 and verse 8. It says, "Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you." That's a promise. Who doesn't want the Lord closer than, man? All right. So, but it takes, initiation on our part. Well, really, if you want to be technical, he initiated everything first. But now, okay, as he's given us, this truth and this grace, okay, now it takes action. It takes initiation upon our part, and he'll get closer to us. That's a promise. And it comes with, once again, the way we seek the Lord, by studying, by praying, by fasting. All right. Showing that unfeigned love for the brethren. All right. It says, "Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners." See, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his ways. All right. So this verse right here, as we read this, pretty much sums up, verse 9 and 10 as we're reading in Psalms 119. So it says, "Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts," meaning your minds, "you double-minded." All right, so let's go back. So, let me blow my nose real quick. All right, Salakia. So let's go back here to where we at? Oh yeah, verse 10, Psalms 119 and verse 10. He says, "With my whole heart have I sought thee. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments." That's right, man, because if we're not if you're not seeking the Lord, if you're not putting, that constant effort and dedication and diligence in seeking the Lord, okay, you're wandering away from him. You see, you're straying away. There is no in between. You're staying stationary. You ain't going. No, man. It's either you're seeking the Lord, okay, 10 times more, or you're diverting. You're backtracking. You're wandering away. See, and this is why the Lord has given us a workload. All right, workload, that he put on top of us, so we don't wonder. Let's grab this here in the book of Sirach, the 33rd chapter. And those that get tired of this workload, scriptures go into that. I believe Sirach, the 6th chapter, the fetters of wisdom, the bonds that she puts up on an individual. If he's not wise, he will, cast those fetters off of him, So it's a blessed thing that the Lord, put this spiritual workload upon us, by, pretty much being provoked unto good works, by our apostles. He exhorts, us Akim, where they exhort us Akim, to, put up these lessons. Okay, go out to the camp, fast, pray, and we're pretty much occupied, every day throughout the week, being busy doing the Lord's work. Because if we're not, well, then we'll be wandering away from the Lord. See, so this is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, and verse 24. It says, fodder, a wand, and burdens are for the ass. So these things are for, beast. Okay, it's for an ass. When you look up what a fodder looks like. As a matter of fact, let me look it up real quick. Well, fodder is, like provender is like food. Okay. All right. A wand, a wand is, like a stick. Okay. So you give, just like you give a, an ass, a donkey, or any type of, of your beast, in your pasture, you give it, food, then, especially sheep, you gotta, correct them with that shepherd staff, you see, and that's a spirit, because that's what we're likening to. We're likening to sheep. Sheep have to be, carefully, and constantly, guarded over. If not, they're going to wander away. So let me finish this. It says, fodder, a wand, and burden are for an ass. Yeah, burden is the work. That's the workload. And bread, correction, and work for a servant. See, and we're called to be servants in this thing. You see, we're not called to live our best lives on this side, man. We'll get that in the kingdom. All right, but here as it stands for right now, okay, we're called to be servants and we're called to work. You see, we must work the works of him while it's still day. All right, because the hour cometh when no man can work. You see, and those that's been putting in this work, all right, starting with our beloved apostles, okay, bishops, elders, and us brothers, Lord willing, we continue in this work. All right, well, then we'll get that rest. You see, but the Lord has put upon us a burden. All right, and this work. Okay, why? Because we're doing something over here, man. All right, verse 25. If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if you let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. AKA, he's going to wander. You see, wander in the sense of WANDR, meaning to stray away. Or as a matter of fact, let me get that word. Wander. I meant to get it earlier. Strong's G, so like it Strong's H, 7686. Shagah, all right, says to go astray, to err. All right, it says to go astray morally. It says to be drunken. See, to be in drunkenness, intoxicated. See, so the reason why you see a lot of bugged out Israelites, okay, drunk with these different doctrines and different ideologies, okay, aka they're straying their ways, because why? They refuse to be under the workload that the Lord gave them, man. You see, I mean, you see it, when men leave this truth, stop, they take their hand off the plow, then they just become the biggest bug outs, man. That's because the Lord allowed them to stray away, because they refused to abide under his workload. It got too grievous for him. All right. It also says to lead astray, to be misled mentally, to be misled mentally, to go astray mentally, man. All right. And Jake is, he's led astray mentally. All right. So Sirach 33 again, in verse 25, if thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if you let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. Yeah, and this flesh, naturally wants freedom and naturally wants, liberty. This flesh is naturally satanic. It wants to do as thou wilt. See? But this is why, we have to mortify, our flesh every day, and that's what the Lord's rod is for. It's to beat us, that's that wand for the ass, man, or that shepherd's staff, for the sheep, Verse 26, a yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant. It says, verse like it, man. Verse 9, send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. You see? So this is a blessed thing that the Lord has given us, this workload, okay, to to fulfill, because if he didn't, well, we'll be idle, man. I mean, you see it, man, like, guys that just know this truth, they don't, do anything with it. They're just idle. They're really like the man, Jake, that know that the Israelites that, like we said, that's not doing anything with it, bro. They become the biggest bug outs, man. They're like, it's like they're worse than the regular Jakes in the world, man. You see? So along with, knowing that you're an Israelite, man, it comes along with work. It comes along with action. See? And that's what Yahweh Shai, gave his disciples. When you read through the Gospels, you had, Peter, Andrew, when you read, what is that, Matthew, the 4th chapter, they were in their father's occupation, being fishermen, but what did Yahweh Shai say? He says, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. You see? So we leave our work to do the Lord's work, man. All right. So this is going back to Psalms 119 and verse, yeah, the brother's putting up some beautiful precepts. We're going to definitely get some of these. The water Akim, as always. But let's go back here to Psalms 119 and verse 10. He says, with my whole heart have I sought thee. And that's really a commandment, with your whole heart. We're supposed to seek the Lord. We're supposed to love the Lord with all our mind, with all our soul, That's the law summed up in two. You had, one of the Pharisees ask Yahweh Shai in Matthew, the 22nd chapter, which is the greatest of the commandments. And Yahweh Shai says, for the whole law is hung up upon these two things. Love the Lord, with all your mind, you see, your soul and your heart, and love your brethren. You see? So this is really a commandment to seek the Lord with our whole heart. He expects nothing less. Verse 11, thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. That's right, man. Okay, why? Because where your heart is, there's your treasure. See? Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That's right. So if your heart is in this world, okay, well, you going off. You're liking it as to an adulterer or an adulteress, you see, against the Lord, man. All right. But if your mind is upon, the ways of Yahweh Bashma Shah, if it's upon his word, okay, well, the Lord takes delight in you. All right. Let's read that one more time. Psalms 119 and 11. Thy word have I hid in my heart. Oh, and that's a commandment itself. You see, you got a lot of these so-called, law thumpers amongst these other Israelite camps, which they don't even get into the law. All right. Because if they did, they wouldn't be saying, these damnest things as they're saying, such as, you could take the sea hip and the Lord don't care. All right. That goes against the law. Leviticus 19. All right. Goes into how you're not supposed to have any type of cuttings or, carvings in your flesh. You see? Incisions in your flesh, that is. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 3. It says, hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee. All right. You see that it says hear and do it. All right. That makes me think about James 1 and the 22nd chapter. It says, 22nd verse. It says, being not only hearers of the word, but doers. See? It says, hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that you may increase mightily, as the Lord power of thy fathers have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. And this is what Moses was telling that younger generation before we came into the promised land. After the Lord had killed that older generation that didn't believe and didn't have faith. Well, Book of Deuteronomy is pretty much, the laws reiterated to that younger generation, and that's the spirit. Because as we're becoming those young men, those new babes in the spirit, we're that younger generation that inherit the Lord's promises, man. All right, it says, verse 4, and it's a famous prayer here. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord Yahweh our power is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I have commanded thee this day shall be in thine heart." See that? Just as we're reading right here in Psalms 119. All right. You're supposed to hide the Lord's word in your heart. Okay. Meaning what? You meditate upon it. You see? So, when you go through particular things in life, you know the proper judgment calls to make. You see? It says, verse 12. Let's go here to verse 12. Psalms 119 and 12. "Blessed art thou, O Lord Yahweh, Bashim Shah. Teach me thy statutes." All right, now I want to get this word teach real quick. This word teach in the Hebrew is Strong's H3925. Lamad. All right, Lamad. We actually got some brothers named Lamad. All right, this word teach means to learn, to teach, to exercise in. See? So along with being taught, you have to exercise. You have to be, exercising it, meaning you have to perform it. All right, it says to be trained. I'm gonna skip down here to the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. Check this out. It says to chastise, to strike, to beat with a rod. See? So teaching ain't what, okay, this world, makes teaching to be. And it's more than just, obtaining, information. You see, teaching comes along with chastisement. Hey, even Yahweh Shai, what did it say in Hebrews the 5th chapter? It says that he learned obedience by the things which he suffered, man. So what makes us think that, we're going to be, exempt, and that goes to show you, man, as you get this word, it comes along with hell that you got to go through, as our elders say all the time, man. I don't think that, the Lord going to give us these, here we got these mysteries. We know what's going to happen, we had the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, and it ain't going to come with no hell. No, man, that's not how it works, So along with being taught that, these mysteries, the kingdom, well, the Lord he's gonna put that rod on us, man, just like he did his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. So it says to chastise, to strike, to beat with the rod. It says especially beast of burden. See, just as we was going into in Sirach the 33rd chapter, it says hence to discipline, to train cattle. You see, and we're likening to sheep. You see, and sheep, they have to be beaten, man, and so they can learn to stay within the fold. Let me grab this here in Psalms. It's actually in Psalms 119, verse 71. And this is what he says. He says, "It is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes." You see, because that's how you really, get something drilled inside your mind, man. And like even when you like look at some of these, I know a lot of us, like around my age, we didn't. Well, every now and then, like I know, like my middle school, my high school, I went to, the teachers, they were actually allowed to, whoop the children, But like when you look at some of these, these old, movies or TV shows or whatever, like the setting is in like a classroom, like from the 60s, 70s, that teacher, she'll usually have like a ruler in her hand, when she teaches the class, and the student, is acting out of line, or they keep getting the answer wrong within that teacher, she'll smack them, across the hand or something. You see? So teaching is often associated with, discipline, being disciplined, man, being chastised, because it does something to your psyche. It makes you remember and retain that information. So that's what the Lord is doing to us, man. And it also forms a bond at the same time along with the teacher, as a teacher is teaching you something, and then that teacher disciplines you, and then comes around and and nurtures you with love. It makes that pupil or that student to form a bond, form a connection with that teacher, man. You see, and that's what. Well, let me just go here. Let me continue to read this definition here. On the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, it says to be trained. It says hence to discipline. It says recruits for war. See, recruits for war, and we're those recruits for this spiritual warfare, man. And any recruit, okay, that's just been enlisted into an army has to go through something called boot training or boot camp. Yeah, that's what it is, boot camp. And boot camp is rigorous, man. You learn a lot of information. You got a particular curriculum you got to learn. And you learn particular things pertaining to the battlefield. And it hurts like hell. I mean, you could watch some YouTube videos or documentaries about the Green Berets or the Marines. Their type of boot training, their boot camp. That shit is rigorous, man. A lot of people die in boot camp. You see, a lot of people can't endure the discipline, let alone going through the actual war. But that's what the Lord, as he's a man of war, that's what he's doing. Okay, he's training his recruits. All right, so let me go back here to Psalms. Where we at? Psalms 119 and verse 12. It says, "Blessed art thou, O Lord, Yahweh Bashmal Shah, teach me thy statutes." And we just got that word teach. And also when you're taught, you got to shut up. You see, that's the thing with Jake, man. All right, Jake think that he coming to this truth, and now you could just air out all your opinions, what you feel, what you think the truth is. No, you can't learn anything if you talking. See, Job chapter 6 and verse 24. He says, "Teach me, and I will hold my tongue." See, meaning I will be quiet, and cause me to understand wherein I have erred. Let me see what that says in NLT. See, this is why when we was in the classrooms, our teachers told us to shut up. No talking. See, because it's impossible for you to learn something if your mind is already preoccupied with speaking, saying what you got to say. You can't learn anything like that, man. That's why Scripture says, "Keep thy foot when you come to the house of the Most High. Be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice for fools," man. You see, Job 6 and 24 in the NLT. And that's what Job is saying, man. And we saw how the Lord dealt with Job, and Job, he's also he's pretty much symbolic for the elect, man. How the Lord is going to deal with his elect. Job 6 and 24 NLT. "Teach me, and I will keep quiet. Show me what I have done wrong." Ooh, hey, that's a prayer of a sincere individual right there, man. How many Israelites, truly has that mindset? We really want the Lord to show us what we've done wrong, and then teach us, and we'll just shut up about it. All right, and we'll repent, and we'll seek you more. That's what the Lord's looking for, man. That's how you become that new creature in Yahweh Bashmal Shah. All right, so let's go back here to Psalms 119 and verse 13. So like, give me 1 second. All right, I gotta kind of put a little move on it. The job is hitting me up, but we're almost done. This is Psalms 119 and verse 13, and it reads, "With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth." And that's what we're doing as we're preaching. See, as we prophesy, we're declaring the Lord's judgments. See, going into the prophecies, going to Revelation 18, going to Revelation 13. See, hey, what does Scripture say here? And was that Psalms 37? All right. Psalms 37 and verse 30. It says, "The mouth of the righteous," okay, the elect, "speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment." That's right. We're speaking of the Lord's judgments every day. All right, you hear about the judgments, that the Lord is doing and is going to do, and what he's already done, okay, by the mouths of the Lord's men. You see? So going back, Psalms 119 and 13, with my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. All right, and that was the job of the priest as well, and the king. You know, when you go through the law, all right, you know, the priest was supposed to make known the Lord's judgments. See? And the king, he was supposed to, you know, make them known and enforce them. You see? Let's grab this real quick in Malachi, since we just said that. Malachi 2 and 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of the Lord's judgments. See, knowledge of his laws, knowledge of the ways of the Lord. And they that seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah of hosts. That's right. So going back, Psalms 119 and 14. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies, as much as in all riches. That's right, man, because this word is also likened unto you know, wealth, likened unto riches, fine gold. See, better than rubies. You see, and that's, you know, that's how we feel, man. Hey, we rejoice in the way of the Lord's testimonies. See, and we do so by singing this new song. All right, but let me grab this real quick in Jeremiah 15. Real quick. Jeremiah 15 and 16 NLT. And it's what the prophet Jeremiah said. He says, when I discovered your words, I devoured them. Yeah, man, we're eating the roll. See, we understand the will of the Lord. Going through the volume of the book. Okay, going over these breakdowns, going over, okay, what the Lord is doing and what he already has done. All right. When I discovered your words, I devoured them. They are my joy and my heart's delight, for I bear your name, O Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah of heaven's armies. Beautiful. So let's go back here, Psalms 119 and 15. And it reads, I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways. That's right. And that spirit, you know, we just read, was that Matthew 6 and 21. He says, for where your treasure is, there is your heart also. See, so you know, if you truly treasure the Lord's words, if you find yourself, you know, meditating upon it all the time, you know. And on the contrary wise, you know that this world is your treasure if you always think about things of this world. You see? Let me get this real quick. Sirach chapter 6 in the GNT, verse 37. And it says, devote all your time to studying the Lord's commands and thinking about them. He will give you the insight and wisdom you were looking for. Yeah, let's read that again. See, this is how you meditate upon the Lord's words. All right. And, you know, meditation don't mean that you sitting, you know, now, although, you know, like this picture we got, you know, showing, you know, on the phone or on the screen here, you know, I mean, that's one way, you know what I mean? But meditating don't necessarily mean you just sitting, you know, so-called, quote unquote, you know, legs crossed, you know, what they call, you know, Indian style. That's that's racist. But anyway, no, you can meditate, man, just simply by, you know, when you know, whatever you're doing, you know, you could be at work, you know, you could be, you know, washing laundry, washing clothes, cooking, you know, just thinking upon the Lord's ways, man. That's how you meditate. And that's actually you know, a custom of ours, man. And you know, it is good to, you know, dedicate, you know, particular time. You know, you may, you know, go out to the park, you know, go out to the lake or wherever, you know, and just, you know, have, you know, intentional meditation. And that right there, that's part of our customs. You know, you read Genesis, you know, I believe Genesis 24. As a matter of fact, let's get that first. Genesis 24. Our forefather Isaac, you know, he was found meditating, you know, before you know, Rebecca, you know, had came to him. So this is Genesis 24. I'm just gonna get straight to the point, verse 63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at eventide. What do you think he was meditating about? All right, he was meditating about the ways of the Lord. See? So that goes to show you that that's a custom, of us Israelites, is to meditate. You see? And once again, that builds that bond, that builds that relationship with Yahweh Bashmal Shah. So he causes us to get closer into him. So let me read this one more time. Sirach 6:37 in the GNT. Devote all your time to studying the Lord's commands and thinking about them. He will give you the insight and wisdom you are looking for. See, and so before you know it, you become wise. See? So going back, let's finish this. Going back here to Psalms 119 and verse 15. Let me see. I'm curious to see what that says in NLT real quick. Oh, yeah, that's good. In the NLT, for verse 15, it says, I will study your commandments and reflect on your ways. That's right, man. Yeah, man, you gotta put that study time in. Go over breakdowns that you already think you know. See? Hey, what do Yahweh Shah say? Blessed is he that readeth. 2 Timothy 3:15. Study to show thyself approved. The Most High. Let me get that real quick. That's a good scripture. All right, just kind of going through the spirit. 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. We call ourselves kings. We call ourselves priests. Well, did you not know it's a law? When you read Deuteronomy 17, it's a law for the king. He had to read the law every day. See? The king had to read the law every day and make a copy of it. And he had to do it in the presence of the priest. You see? So it's more than just calling, I'm a king, Shalom Alak. No, if you're a king, do what kings do. Kings got to study. Kings got to put that work in. The priest got to know the Lord's judgments. The priest got to know the Lord's ordinances. So he says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Yeah, you shouldn't be ashamed of, your work. You got to be apt to teach. Somebody comes up, asks you a question, you shouldn't be ashamed. Damn, I wish I would have studied more. I would, Now, granted, there are particular things that, you're just not going to know, all the time. You know what I mean? Like there's things that we're constantly learning, constantly growing. But as it especially attains into, the foundational things, okay, especially those of us that are teachers, you got to know it. All right, it says, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Yeah, directly and correctly, man, getting straight to the point. All right, not going around the bush, let your yay be yay, nay be a nay. Get in and get out. All right, so let's go back to Psalms 119 and verse 15. He says, I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways. Verse 16, last verse. I will delight myself in thy statutes. Yeah, just like we just read Jeremiah 15:16. He says, when I found your words, I devoured them. They were my delight. See? He says, I will delight myself in thy statutes. And what did the Lord say? Psalms 37. All right. Psalms 37. And 4, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. That's right, man. So if you make this word your delight, well, the Lord eventually, okay, he'll eventually give you the desires of your heart. Now, don't expect it to come to pass on this side. All right, because on this side, remember, we're called to work. We're called to be servants. Okay, we're called to be, the Lord's bondmen. You see? But if we make this work our delight, you best believe there's going to be a payout, man. See? So let's finish this verse 16. I will delight myself also in thy statutes. I will not forget thy word. Yeah, don't be those forgetful hearers, as James was speaking about. I'll get one more. Hebrews 2:1. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, meaning pay attention, pay attention to it, man. The things that we've heard, all the videos, all the sit downs, all the breakdowns that our apostles been going through for all these years. Don't just listen to these things. They go in one ear and out the other, because remember, hey, man, this is the Lord speaking, Imagine as if, this was Yahweh Shah standing right before you, speaking to you face to face. Now we know he's not going to do that. He's going to speak through the mouths of his men. But just imagine if Yahweh Shah was speaking to you, you would listen, like you would, retain everything he said, man. You see? So that's how we should be treating these epistles, these street preachings, So it says, therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. That's right, man. Slip our mind. You don't want to become those leaky vessels, that can't hold any water. See, scripture speak about that. What was that? Sirach, last verse. I believe that's Sirach 21. Let me get it here. Yeah, this is Sirach 21 in the GNT. And verse 12. I'll start at verse 12. You have to be intelligent to learn anything. Ooh, that's right. Hey, just like Daniel, he says he gives wisdom unto the wise. So really, and we know that's talking about the elect. So really, in order to learn the Lord's wisdom, in order to learn, this truth, you already have to have, that implanted wisdom that the Lord put inside of you, before you even, born, man. See? So there already has to be some level of intelligence, some level of, wisdom and discernment and spirituality. This is why niggas can't get it. You see? Verse 12, you have to be intelligent to learn anything, but there is such a thing as just pretending to be intelligent. Yeah, we hear it, man, from these other camps. They use all these big illustrious words. See? Hermeneutics, eschatology, which is nothing wrong with those. And those are, basic words anyway, but they just try to make a fair show of their speech. You see, they're just pretending to be intelligent, intending to be wise. You see, but they break downs wrong as hell. You see, we come with the simplicity of the Lord's, truth, man. You see, some brothers, are more, eloquent speakers than others, but nonetheless, man, this truth cut straight to the point, And look at Moses. Hey, Moses, he stuttered. You see, he was a man of the Lord. You see, he was the one of the Lord. He was the Lord's mouthpiece, and his brother Aaron. See, so it's more than just sounding like what what you're talking about. Really, hey man, you give a nigga a platform and a microphone, he could say anything, and it sounds like it's on point. You see, like look at One Body. They got all these followers. You see. You got, at least 50,000. I don't know how many followers they got, but they got a whole bunch. That goes to show you, man, hey, you give a nigga a microphone, man. Oh, boy. Anybody will believe all these TikTokers, these TikTok prophets, So you got a lot of people, they sound intelligent. They can, sound eloquent and, But, bro, like, that don't mean nothing. No, this is why, what did Apostle Paul say? First Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. When I came unto you, I came not with excellency of speech. You see, I didn't want to know anything except Hamashiach and him crucified, man. To the Jews, it was a stumbling block. To the Greeks, it was foolishness, man. But it says, verse 12 in the GNT, you have to become intelligent. You have to be intelligent to learn anything. But there is such a thing as just pretending to be intelligent, which only makes people bitter. Yeah, because hey, people gonna hate you, man. You see, and that's the time that we coming into, man. A lot of people are, seeing, a lot of the craftiness and the guile of these other sects, man, of these other camps. Like, damn, man, you had this trick. You see, but man, yeah, you told us wrong about the MOTB. You told us wrong. You see, and the congregation they're gonna be mad as hell, like it says in Zechariah the 13th chapter. How they're gonna start to slay their prophets. Him that weareth a rough garment to deceive. They're gonna start getting put to death, man. See these false prophets. Verse 13, a wise person's knowledge is like a river that never runs dry. Yeah. He that believeth on me, okay, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Meaning you can expound upon these scriptures. You can go into the volume of the book, okay, because the Lord has given you that unction. See, but he's only given that to the wise. See, the elect. It says a wise person's knowledge is like a river that never runs dry, like an ever-flowing stream of good advice. A fool, on the other hand, has a mind like a jar with a hole in it. Anything he learns is soon lost. See? So yeah, man. We don't want to be, those foolish individuals, man, that it goes in one ear and out the other. See? So, and that's the point. I really want to get some of these precepts that Akim were putting up, but I'm kind of late right now. At the water, Akim, as always, be sure to, for the brothers and sisters that tuned in, go through these precepts that the brothers put up. The water for y'all sacrifice, man. Hey, but, Lord willing, you Akim will edified. Till next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Hakodash. I want to give double honor to my beloved apostle, Elder Great Millstone, Wafla Babal, Shalom.